Hello, mighty companion. This is Earl Purdy, and I'm here today to do Course in Miracles lesson 126. I'm going to read lesson 126 to you. And lesson 126 is all that I give is given to myself. All that I give is given to myself. All that you give is given to yourself. All that you give is given to yourself. Let me read it to you. Today's idea, all that I give is given to myself, is completely alien to the separated mind, the ego. This idea that all that you give is given to yourself is completely alien to the thinking of the world. But this idea that all that you give is given to yourself is crucial to the thought reversal that the Course in Miracles will bring about. If you believe this statement that all that you give is given to yourself, there would be no problem in complete forgiveness. There would be no problem in a certainty of goal. There would be no problem with sure direction if you believe that all that you give is given to yourself. You would understand the means by which your happiness and healing comes to you and would not hesitate to use the means by which your happiness and healing comes to you if you understood that all that you give is given to yourself. Let's consider what you do believe in place of the idea that all that you give is given to yourself. It seems to you that other people are separate from you. It seems to you that other people are able to behave in ways which have no bearing on your thinking, nor yours on theirs. Therefore, it seems like your attitudes have no effect on others. It sometimes seems like others' appeals for help are not in any way related to your own appeals for help. You further think, if you think in a typical way, that you can sin or do something that's wrong without affecting your perception of yourself, while you can judge someone else's sin or guilt and yet remain separate from condemnation and at peace. When you so-called forgive a sin or what you think somebody did to you, you believe that there's no gain to you directly. You feel like you give charity to somebody that's unworthy, merely to point out that you are better. You're on a higher plane than the person that you forgive. This person hasn't really earned your charitable tolerance, which you bestow on one unworthy of the gift of your forgiveness, because really their sins have lowered them beneath a true equality with you. This person that's done something wrong really has no claim on your forgiveness. It holds out a gift to this person to forgive them, but hardly to yourself. And so forgiveness is basically seen as unsound to the separated mind. Forgiveness is seen as a charitable whim, benevolent, yet the person really doesn't deserve it. A gift bestowed at times, your forgiveness is a gift bestowed at times, at other times withheld, undeserved, withholding your forgiveness as fair when you think it's not deserved, nor is it fair that you should suffer just because you won't forgive somebody that did something to you. The so-called sin that you forgive is really not yours, it's what somebody else did. Someone apart from you has done this wrong thing. And if you then are gracious to the person that's done something wrong, by giving them the forgiveness that they do not deserve, it seems like the gift is no more yours than was their error or sin yours. If this is true, that the person really doesn't deserve forgiveness and it doesn't have any really direct beneficial effect on you, then it looks like forgiveness has no grounds on which to rest dependably and sure. It seems like forgiveness is just a eccentricity in which you sometimes choose to give the forgiveness indulgently, an undeserved reprieve. Yet it does seem like it still remains your right to let the so-called sinner not escape the justified repayment for their sin or guilt. Do you really think God thinks like this? Do you really think the Lord of heaven, the Creator, would allow the world's salvation to depend on whether you forgive or not? Wouldn't God's care for you be small indeed if your healing and your salvation rested on somebody else's whim? You do not understand forgiveness. You do not understand forgiveness. You do not understand forgiveness. As you see forgiveness, forgiveness is but a check upon an overt attack without requiring correction in your mind. Forgiveness cannot give you peace as you perceive forgiveness. Forgiveness is not a means for your release from what you see in someone other than yourself. It looks like forgiveness has no power to restore your unity with the other person to your awareness. It is not what God intended it to be for you. Not having given God the gift God asked of you, you cannot recognize God's gifts. And so you think God hasn't given his gifts to you. Yet would God ask you for a gift unless the gift was for you? Could God be satisfied with empty gestures and evaluate such petty gifts as worthy of you. Think about that. Salvation, which is release, is a better gift than this. And true forgiveness, as the means by which it is attained, true forgiveness must heal your mind that gives. For giving is receiving. Giving is receiving. What remains as unreceived hasn't been given, but what has been given must have been received. Today we will try to understand the truth that giver and receiver are the same. Giver and receiver are the same. We will need help to make this meaningful, that giver and receiver are the same. We will need help to make this meaningful. Because the idea that giving and receiving are the same is so alien to the thoughts to which you are accustomed. But the help you need is here. The help you need is here. Give God your faith today and ask God that God share your practicing in truth today. Ask God to share your practicing in truth today. And if you only catch a tiny glimpse of the release, even if you only catch a tiny glimpse of the release that lies in the idea we practice today, this is a day of glory for the world. Give 15 minutes twice today. Give 15 minutes twice today to the attempt to understand today's idea. All that you give is given to yourself. All that you give is given to yourself. It's the thought by which forgiveness, which is healing, takes its proper place in your priorities. All that you give is given to yourself is the thought that will release your mind from every bar to what forgiveness means and let you realize forgiveness worth to you. In silence, in silence, in silence, close your eyes upon the world that doesn't understand forgiveness. Seek sanctuary in the quiet place where thoughts are changed and false beliefs laid by. Repeat today's idea. All that I give is given to myself. And ask for help in understanding what all that I give is given to myself really means. Be willing to be taught. Be willing to be taught. Be glad to hear the voice for truth. Be glad to hear the voice for healing speak to you. And you will understand the words that God speaks and recognize God speaks your words to you. As often as you can, remind yourself, you have a goal today. You have a goal today. You have a goal today. You have an aim which makes this day of special value to yourself and all your brothers and sisters. Do not let your mind forget this goal for long. But tell yourself, all that I give is given to myself. All that I give is given to myself. The help I need to learn that this is true is with me now. And I will trust in God. I will trust in God. Then spend a quiet moment opening your mind. Open your mind to your Creator's correction. Open your mind to your Creator's love. And what you hear of your Creator, you will believe. For what your Creator gives will be received by you. All that I give is given to myself. All that I give is given to myself. Take a breath and let's say it. All that I give is given to myself. All that I give is given to myself. All that I give is given to myself. All that you give is given to yourself. All that you give is given to yourself. All that you give is given to yourself. All that I give is given to myself. All that I give is given to myself. All that you give is given to yourself. All that I give is given to myself. Mighty companions, this is Earl Purdy. Go to www.earlpurdy.com and check out my website and the many classes that I have online. And I want you to let peace extend from my mind and my heart to yours.